What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you all are making the best of it out there. Right now, I'm at a friend's house in their shop because I've got a cool mod for you guys, but I also want to show you guys something really awesome because my friend Tyler just bought a new project car and it is honestly going to be the coolest project I think I've ever worked on to date. So without further ado, ooh, the over fenders. This thing is so sick. So Tyler's currently working on wrapping some of his interior pieces with carbon fiber. This is going to be a super awesome project. He wants to do some coilovers and some other cool mods, so make sure you guys stay tuned with the channel because there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff coming with this build. But anyways guys, the mod that I have for you today is going to be this short throw shifter that I bought like almost a year ago actually. I've had this sitting in my room for a while. It's a Barton shifter and I'm going to be using the Barton handle because I think it looks really nice. Originally we were going to straight pipe the Mustang today, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get a tune for the car, so that's going to have to wait a little bit, but the tune should be here soon, so the straight pipes are coming for that car. And I wanted to go ahead and just tell you guys because I felt bad that I teased it in one of my most recent videos, but then things just happen and we're all having to adapt. So hope you guys enjoy today's video.
Shared playlist, royalty free. What is this gonna be? I'm so scared.
The classic.
Yes, the montage.
Alright, so I hope this is going to be like a halfway decent camera view, but basically I'm just going to go ahead and remove the top of the stock shifter. So there's going to be the shift boot, this little leather collar, and then there's a little rubber thing down in there. So now that we got that out, we're gonna go under the car and start unbolting this shifter. From the looks of it, it should be fairly straightforward. Alright guys, so unfortunately this is gonna be really hard to show on camera, but essentially past the drive shaft, there's a couple bolts holding the shifter in place. So there's one, oh geez, I don't even know if you can see that. So you might barely be able to see this. There's basically like two bolts on the front of the shifter up there, and then there's a couple on the back. Yeah, one right there, and then one on the other side. I'd hold the shifter in place. So I'm going to do my best to show this for you, but I might just have to show you the progress as the shifter's coming out. Alright, so I wasn't really able to show it, but there's two bolts on the back of the shifter that hold this little mount in place. So they're basically going to go through those holes. And so when the new one goes in, it uses the same hardware. If you're installing one of these, I mean, I'm sure you already watched it in a more in-depth tutorial, but because yeah, I've got the little zoom on here now, so I can like. Oh, no. Anyway, the next one is 11 or 12 millimeter, I'm pretty sure. So I'll get that bolt and then I'll show you that. Alrighty, so the bolt that I just removed goes to the actual linkage connection right here. And then the last one is on the front, and for this one you'll need a 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench. You could probably get away with just using a normal box end wrench, but the ratchet makes it a little bit nicer. Okay, so at this point we should be able to pull the shifter up through the car from inside of here. There we have it, stock shifter out. So since I wasn't really able to show the uninstall, I'm gonna give you guys a little side-by-side. This is fairly straightforward. So this is the stock shifter right here, and then this is the new Barton one that I'm gonna be putting in. So basically, you're just gonna want to take the linkage off of this piece right here. There's a bolt on the other side, and then bolt it to the new linkage. And make sure it's facing the right way, obviously. And then you'll just reuse all the stock hardware off of that and put it onto the new one. And then this bracket, once you get this down in there, you'll slide this bracket over the end like this. And then there's those 2 bolts that I mentioned before. As you can tell, like this one, the Barton shifter is a much better product. It's nice and firm, has a much shorter throws, and like a notchy shift as opposed to this. It's kind of flimsy. The linkage itself is kind of all over the place. Ugh. Yeah, I'm really glad that I'm getting this new shifter installed, because that one is just not great. So to install this shifter, we're just gonna drop it in here like the way that we pulled the other one out. Just gonna... Alright, so scratch that. This shifter is a little bit bigger than the stock one, so I'm gonna put the linkage on once I get the shifter in, because that's just gonna make this a whole lot easier. Alright, so the last step is to come to the interior and finish off the top part of the shifter. So I'm going to be installing the Barton one. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, so basically it's just going to slide onto here. And then there's a little bolt that bolts the front of it down. Okay, so I actually got a little bit ahead of myself. You're going to want to put this seal on before you put this little shifter arm in here. I have heard that this can actually be the most difficult part of the install, because you have to fit this little seal around this circular part. So if you have big hands, it can be kind of a pain. Okay, so that was seriously the hardest part of this entire install, was just getting that little seal over the shifter. Now, all that's left to do is tighten that one bolt in, if I could find it. The last step, you're going to want to take this little thread that comes with it. Alright, so before I get to the review part of this video, I'm going to go ahead and install a new decal on my car that Tyler, thank you so much. Shout out to Tyler for giving me this decal. I think you guys are going to like it. I don't know how long it's going to last, but it kind of cracks me up, so we're going to go ahead and put this on.
Everything else looks good. Dude, it actually looks awesome. Yeah. I had no idea the font was actually that cool. Oh my gosh.
That's great. It does match my little Instagram tags. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to head over there. Slap that follow button. Slap Tyler's follow button too. Oh. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the little install montage. I know that sometimes it's hard for me to show what I'm doing, but this is honestly like a really straightforward mod, and if anybody out there is trying to do this install, I'll link a tutorial down in the description, because that's the one that I used, and it helped me out a ton. So now I'm just going to give you guys a little brief overview. I've been driving the car with the short throw shifter for a couple days now, and I love it so much. Some people find that they don't really like the feel of a short throw shifter. Maybe it's a little bit too notchy for them, which I could kind of see where they're coming from, because at first it was kind of hard to get used to. But after you get used to it, it's so nice to have the shorter throws. The shifts are so much better, and it just feels a lot more responsive, and it feels like you're more in control of the car, I guess. Also, from a drag racing standpoint, a short throw shifter can be nice, because obviously if you're trying to get your time down and you're driving a manual car, every single millisecond is going to count against you. So the shorter throws makes it so that every single shift is so much quicker, and it can actually save you so much time in the long run. So one of the main selling points about getting a Barton shifter is they have a really awesome 2 to 3 shift, and that's because of this little return spring that's in there. It's like super strong. It's actually so strong that sometimes it's kind of difficult to get into first and second gear. Like I notice if I'm coming up to a stoplight and I'm going from third down to second, sometimes it can be kind of tricky just because of how stiff this spring is. But I think that it's totally worth it, because, you know, when you're accelerating, and you go from first to second, and then your second to third gear shift is just like pushing this straight up. It's so nice that the shifter is right there every time, because I know that some people that have other options like maybe SR Performance or Hurst often complain that their second to third shift, especially if they're rowing gears, it can be kind of a pain to get it into third gear. This shifter completely eliminates that, which is super awesome, and it just altogether feels really good. Another thing is when you're in gear, it doesn't have nearly as much play, and that's super awesome because the stock shifter is like, I remember I would be in third or fourth gear and the thing would just be like shaking like crazy while I was going down the road, and the linkage just had a ton of play in it. So it's really nice that this shifter is super solid, doesn't move at all, and it just feels a lot nicer. Similar to the difficulty getting it into first or second gear, sometimes it can be kind of hard to get it into fifth if you're going down the highway. Like, you really have to push this spring over. But like I said, it's really not the end of the world. Obviously, that's the trade-off that you make with getting a short throw shifter, is that it's not perfect for daily driving and comfortability, but for racing or for just improving the feel of the shifter from a performance perspective, it's definitely better. I know that the Barton shifter says that they have a 36% reduction in shifting throw. So that means that this throw is only like 70% of what the stock one would have been. And I remember the old one, like third gear was all the way up here and fourth was even further back than this. It would actually kind of rest along this little seam right here. Backing out of like a parking space or something, the first thing that I notice is that reverse, you kind of have to muscle it over. But then once you're in gear, it engages all the same. Even though it's an aftermarket shifter, it has the same exact stock linkage. So everything is gonna feel pretty much the same once you're in gear. The main difference is just going to be the reduction in the shifting throws. So to get it into first, you kind of have to muscle it a bit. If you try to just casually do it, there's a chance you could catch the edge, or it could slip into third. So you definitely want to like give it a good grab and shove it into first. All right, so I wasn't able to get any good shots of myself driving, so I'm actually going to let my dad give it a try.
Sorry.
Ruined my brakes.
I like that short throw. That's nice, man.
Yeah, the Barton one is super nice. I was just talking about it a second ago on camera, but it has like a little return spring that pushes it towards the middle, so you almost never miss your second to third gear shift.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it just gives her like resistance there.
Yeah.
Feels good, man. I haven't driven it in a long time, but it's really solid, and I like the shifter.
Yeah.
It's got a real good resistance, and that rather than, you know, the reach that it had before, the linkages really feels really solid. Yeah, man, I like that. The second to third is really sharp.
Yeah. I like how you hear it kind of click every single gear.
Ba-dunk, ba-dunk.
Yeah. Ba-dunk, ba-dunk.
Ba-dunk-a-dunk. That's really cool, man. It feels really good.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how, I mean, I know it's a short throw, but I'm amazed at how short the throw is. It feels, it's just quick.
0 to 60 is a little bit faster, just because of how quick you can get from not only first to second, but second to third as well.
Mm-hmm.
So much faster.
Well, all of those elements add up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really efficient.
Man, car looks nice from over here.
You never get to see it from up there.
This is how the ladies be looking at my car.
What ladies?
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so shout out to my dad for rowing some gears for me so that I could get some better video footage. He thinks it's pretty sick. I think it's pretty sick. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like down below. Also consider subscribing for more car content. Browse the channel if you're bored and you're stuck in quarantine. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and dream big.